Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, Shalini. Thank you so much for coming to our Value Circle NPO Highlight series. For those of you who don't know Shalini, Shalini is the director of Aashish Foundation's Jumpstart program, and for us, she is a neighbor who lives next door, and we meet very often. So, thank you so much, Shalini, for taking out this time today for the interview. Before I, even start with Ashish Foundation, I just want to understand your journey in this organization, and what really inspired you to join Ashish Foundation in the first place.
Okay. Good morning, Shasna. Nice talking to you this morning. So I am an occupational therapist by profession, and I have been in this field of developmental disabilities for more than 40 years.
Wow.
During in the early years, we had a client coming to us, and he was a small boy, and we helped him greatly. Um, and his father and family was always in touch with us. So over the years, and many years later, when Salvager, his father was thinking of starting a foundation which would help and empower children and families with special needs, he approached us to run the Jumpstart Therapy Centers for the foundation. So that's how we got into Jumpstart. This foundation has been here since the past 14 years in Prabhadevi. And like Shaswat said, we are next door to Toolbox. I'm sure a lot of other noise that the children at the therapy make may be disturbing them. But like good neighbors, they have never complained.
I think you're working on a cause which is so much important for the world to know, and especially with families, because a lot of times it's hard to accept these kind of circumstances, and from to change that mindset to bringing in like a change in the mindset of the family and the children, it is a great cause. And for us it is like something that we hear every day, and we actually think of it. We have conversations in the office that the kind of work that you guys have been doing, so we're absolutely grateful to have you as our neighbors.
But I mean, it has always amazed me that in a four-story building with many offices on the floor, everybody has been extremely supportive. I know sometimes our children really may be disrupting the peace of the other offices, but I think our society has come a long way that everybody has been supportive.
Right. Absolutely. That's so nice to hear. And I think that speaks a lot of volume about people of Bombay as well, and there is a certain kind of an aura where people do kind of resonate to things, and they are able to think more than themselves. And I'm so glad to hear, it's just not us, it's everybody in the building. So really glad to know that. Uh, just want to understand, since inception, how many children have you worked with? And I also know you've trained a lot of people to work with children as well. So just want to understand more on that.
Yeah, so the goal of the foundation is to empower not only children but their families as well, because with the children, their whole families are impacted by this difficulty. So we train children and train their families to manage them, to understand their problem, to know what is the road ahead. So the therapy we provide is very intensive. It is always one-to-one, and change takes a long time. So with this intensive kind of training, we can only see a limited number of families or limited number of children per year.
Right.
So we run out of 3 therapy centers. One here at Prabhadevi, we have one at Vashi and the other one at Goregaon. Now, at each of these places, we can see about 50 to 70 children in a month.
Right.
And I know that's a small number compared to what a lot of other schools and things can do, because they have group training and we have one-to-one training. We provide one-to-one training. So the number is small. It's very intense, the training. And over the past 14 years, I think we have seen and helped more than 2,500 families.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't seem like a small number at any.
So it is 2,500 children plus their parents. And we also provide training workshops for parents, for professionals, for society. So that would be another 1,000 people that, or maybe more than that, 1,500 that receive have received training over the past 14 years.
Wow. I mean, uh, for me, it is a big number, firstly, and I think more than the number, what really matters is the quality of training and the valuable time you spend. Because you mentioned that it's a one-on-one coaching compared to group.
Yes.
So, I mean, even the kind of realizations people would be having, or the kind of changes the kids would be seeing, would be so much more personalized, customized towards each of them specifically, right? So. Uh, you may think that the number is small, but I think the impact that it's creating is
No,
is
no,
a,
we are okay with that, Shastra, because
of
we
course.
know that this is what it entails, and uh, I mean, we are totally aware of how this program is and what it takes. So it's just that in terms of 14 years, when 2,500 seems small, but because of the intensity, we are okay with it.
Absolutely. And do you have plans of like opening new centers? Is that something that you plan in the pipeline?
Uh, so we always depend a lot on donations from society. So as donors come, I mean, definitely we will like to open more centers. And at present, so the place that we have in each of the three centers can see just about 50 to 70 kids. So if
Right.
I even have to increase the number of clients per center, I would need a bigger space.
Right.
So in the space that I have, this is the numbers that I can uh, support.
Right.
So
So
either I get a bigger space in these areas, or I have donors who offer me spaces in other areas, and we can start more services.
so I mean, I just have one plea to anybody who's listening. Because Ashish Foundation has been doing a great job, and I've known Shalini, like the kind of work that they've been doing. So, if anybody relates, to this field, to working with especially able children, I would request you to help in any form. It could be in the form of donation. I'm sure you would be also needing training personnel, right? That
Yes.
would be helping in this sector. So any kind of help in, because like she said, it's a smaller, it would look like a smaller number, but it's the impact that matters. And I think a lot of people in the long run, they start chasing these numbers and they forget about the impact why they started. So I love the fact that you've been so consistent with your thought and the ideology as to why you started this foundation in the first place. Any closing remarks to the audience, or anybody you would want to share more about how a day-to-day life at Ashish Foundation looks like to anybody who's seeing this video?
Okay. So generally, children who come to Jumpstart Therapy Centers have a diagnosis within developmental disabilities. A large percentage of the people that we see come under the autism spectrum disorder.
Okay.
Then there are children who have attention deficits. There are children who have motor difficulties of walking, sitting, walking, running. Then we have children with scholastic or academic difficulties of reading, writing, math. And we have children who have intellectual difficulties. So, and of course, there are a lot of other disabilities like Down syndrome and various syndromes that come to us for help. So
Right.
basically, children who are unable to achieve their normal milestones or are unable to cope with their school because of various inabilities that they may have are the kind of people who approach us for help. So after a short initial assessment, we start therapy. Therapy is usually done on a one-to-one basis, and we offer it twice a week. And the remaining time, we ask parents to carry out the program at home. So for them to be able to carry out the program at home, they have to come and sit with us and learn what is the program about, what are the techniques being used, how to upgrade the program, how to manage at home. So we work to help them to eliminate some behaviors which are disrupting the program, and also to develop skills which will help their children to grow.
Wow. And how long usually are these programs for?
Uh, so the program goes on. Actually, most of these diagnoses are lifetime disorders.
Right.
The children learn a lot of skills, and we keep training them till parents feel confident that now I have a hang of what's the problem and how I should work with my kid and what is the road ahead. And it's up to them when they feel that they can manage, or they can do something that some other thing that they want to do for their child. So, like I'm saying, we have children, right? So the earliest ones we had were like even 1 and 2 month old babies who have been diagnosed right at birth, and we start early intervention services for them. And the oldest I have seen is 55 years old. So we have the whole range, and people come at different stages in life with different difficulties that they are facing, and we try to find solutions and training programs for them.
Wow. So this is also for me, it's a new information. I didn't know that the age range was at like from like few months to
Yeah.
50 plus people. And
Because
that
Shaswat, what happens is children, after they initially settle down for, and get into a mode of learning, they may go to a normal school or a special school, and then they might go into a vocation, and then they might go into a job. So at all these stages, I mean, they face some kind of difficulties. So we, like the older ones we see who are not able to adjust to their job. They had some difficulties with their co-workers, with their supervisors. They don't know how to manage. So then they will come back again to develop some social skills, some finance, budgeting skills. So as they need, we would be able to help.
wow, that's um, I'm so glad to know these things and to have this interview for me, because it's also opening a lot of questions or things I didn't even know, especially because I thought it is more to do with children. But now, like, I'm starting to realize there's so much more, like more than children and people, adults as well. They come in for these kind of sessions. And how do you think has it impacted your life personally? Like, ever since you started, working with Aashish Foundation, and how do you think it's impacted you as a person?
I suppose it has given me a lot of, taught me to have a lot of patience, because one needs
I'm so
to
sorry,
have.
Shali. If you could, cannot hear you. If you could just put your mic up a little bit, just the mic.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
a, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
It's a,
I think as a person, it has made me more patient, because one needs to have patience to deal with this difficulty, but also because of our training in knowing what the disability is about, what are the steps that one can accept in the training process. We are waiting for the next step, and then when that happens, you know what is the next step that will be coming along. So it helps you to be patient and to plan your program carefully. It has also taught me a lot of empathy for families, because we see them facing so many difficulties. And for the children, of course, I mean, they are such brave little children who keep going on in the face of so much of difficulties and so many challenges that they have. And I know sometimes it's hard for them, but they just endure it and go ahead step by step. So that is also something which you learn to take everything one day at a time.
so glad. And
Also, one more thing is we're very touched by the donors who have faith in us and make our vision meaningful. Because if it was not for them, then we would not be able to offer services to these children. So again,
absolutely.
I'm totally in awe of all donors who help us along the way.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing and being so honest in your answers. I mean, I could see your emotions coming out while you were answering this. it really goes to show how much this means to you and how impactful this is for you to be associated with such a foundation. Thank you so much, for having this chat. We would, like to see and show to our audience as well as to what kind of work you're doing. And truly, thank you for the talk today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shashwat, for all the help that Toolbox has given us. I mean, the Toolbox has really given us so much of encouragement and guidance on how to deal with aspects beyond occupational therapy. And I think those are also the very important aspects that foundations need to know while offering services for any social cause.
We're so
They
glad.
they are the ones who help us with that part of the uh, running of the foundation, and invaluable guidance from Toolbox. Thanks so much to you and all the members of the Toolbox team.
Thank you so much, Shali, for your kind words. And we're glad, we could just be a part of this journey that Ashish Foundation is on. And obviously, be it neighbors today or tomorrow, be it anywhere in the world, we'll always be wanting to help in any capacity that we can to make sure that your foundation and your programs can run in an efficient manner. Thank you so much, Shali.
Thank you.